Hello, friends out in YouTube land. I have a friend who also is a pastor. And I remember years ago, pre pandemic, as we like to say, visiting him in his office and just being fascinated with all of the things that were on tabletops and on shelves and on surfaces that were just very different, unique things. And I asked him one time, what is the story behind these things? Where did you get these? And he was like, wow, if I went around my office and told you everything that I have and where I got it from, we could be here forever talking about this kind of thing. And it occurred to me there are things in pastors' offices that the average person doesn't get a chance to see and maybe never gets a chance to hear the background story behind, all of which are fascinating. I was reminded of that story, along with the fact that some people think of pastors' offices sort of like the principal's office, like you don't have to go there unless there's some kind of crisis or you're in trouble. Therefore, most people just sort of pass by the office or talk to people like me outside of the office or in the hallway or something. And even when people come into the office, they're not always focused on the things that are sitting around. And because of the fact that we have been doing multiple videos about things that are in our church building and just reminding people of what there is to see and what you probably walk past and never notice, and maybe you don't know the story behind. I thought that might be fun to do for the pastor's office as well. Along with that, one of my favorite Amy Grant songs, which is not a normally heard Amy Grant song or one that people even know is in her repertoire, is a song called If These Walls Could Speak. And just for fun, it has absolutely nothing to do with this video series. I'm going to put that song, a link to that song, in the description below on this YouTube page. So if you want to hear that song just for fun, one of my favorite songs, that in and of itself probably deserves its own video and its own discussion. But just as a little bonus piece, make sure that you check down below for that YouTube link to hear that song. So yeah, let's go around the office and maybe video by video. Let me just point out to you some things that are hiding in plain sight and things that have a story or a background to them. And the first one that I'm going to show you today is this. It's kind of hard to tell what that is. It sits on my bookcase in between two different stacks of books. And yes, my books are separated by theme. So what I have chosen to do is to kind of distinguish the separation by these little relics and artifacts that I have. Somebody has told me one time that they thought this was a kind of crystal or something else strange. Really what this is a clump of salt. And this comes from the Dead Sea. Yes, I was at the Dead Sea. I did do a tour of Israel back in 2009, I believe. And I chose, we were told kind of on the tour that the most common things that people bring back from the Holy Land are rocks. And people were like, while we were at the Dead Sea, you know, the number one popular thing to do is to go out and float in the Dead Sea. I did not go out and float in the Dead Sea. I watched lots of college students do that. Did go down and put my foot in the water, touched the water, tasted the water. You can imagine that's its own unique, interesting experience. But I was not going to bring home any relics, any rocks to remember. I took lots of pictures and just didn't want to, it was hard enough to get your suitcase the right weight to get on the plane. I thought it would be even worse coming back if you were full of rocks and things. But what happened was there was a gentleman who I roomed with, who was a retired pastor, and he had been to the Holy Land several times. And this time, even though he was on this tour, this trip with all of us students, he wasn't interested in taking the coursework. He was interested in seeing the things that he didn't take time to see when he'd done his tours and study trips. So what happened is him and I had talked several times, and I explained that, yeah, I wasn't going to bring back a bunch of rocks. All of it was very interesting. And what he did is he mailed me some things after the fact. And one of the things that he mailed me is this chunk of salt from the Dead Sea. So I keep this in my office. It is a reminder to me of the Holy Land and my experiences there, and the fact that this sea is something that not only shows up in the Bible, but is so old and is still there today, although it is drying up. The shorelines are recessing rather quickly. So I know there's some concerns from archaeologists about that. But just a reminder that our God is real. The people that we read about are real. And we are part of their story. And it's just nice to be reminded. Holy things can be around us all the time, even in the forms of clumps of salt crystals. So, yeah, I will look around the office a little bit more and allow you into the office, not into detention, and you won't be in trouble. But you can enjoy some of the things that are in my office as well. And if you're ever here in person, ask to stop in, and I would be happy to let you come in and look around and maybe even ask what are the stories behind some of these things as well. But until then, I'll share them one video at a time. So have a great day, and I'll see you on the other side of the screen soon.